Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Still live on Nile TV International, and this is a special edition covering the historic event of today, as President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi with the Russian counterpart, President Vladimir Putin, they witnessed today via video conference the installation of the pressure vessel, the pressure reactor or vessel of the first nuclear unit at Al Daba nuclear plant. Of course, the event also witnessed the signing of a nuclear fuel purchase agreement. Also another agreement with the Rosatom, the Russian company, which is building and establishing the power plant of Al Daba, to also for not only to build the power plant of Al Daba, but also to supply the fuel for the life cycle, also to provide maintenance, etc. Well, to shed more light about this, we are delighted to be joined here in the studio with our prominent guest, Dr. Ali Islam, former chairman of the Egyptian Atomic Energy Authority, EAEA. Dr. Ali Islam, great pleasure having you with us.
Thank you very much for your kind invitation, and welcome to your
welcome to our program, and thank you for your time, first of all, of course. Of course, it's such a historic event, also coinciding with the 5th annual of the celebrating the Egypt's Nuclear Energy Day on the 19th of November.
Yes.
Egypt is really entering a new era of producing the nuclear power energy, also supporting Egypt to produce the clean energy and reducing the carbon emissions, reaching by 2030 the contribution of 42% of the new and clean power. Well, let's first of all focus and shed more light about the historic strategic ties between Egypt and Russia, referring back to establishing the high dam, as President Vladimir Putin himself today, as he addressed the video conference, he mentioned this as well. So what do you say about this first?
Yes, I would say it was a very long history of Egyptian and Russian cooperation, starting, as I said, from the establishing of the high dam electrical generating facility. It is not only for electrical generation, but to regulate also the water for agriculture and drinking purposes. So it has a dual purpose. It has success over the years and protected Egypt from many hazards. And actually this cooperation, at that time, it was a substantial amount of the total electricity now to Egypt. Now the electricity demand in Egypt has greatly increased, so the percentage of the hydropower is decreasing. But I would say that, for example, Al Daba nuclear power plant, by its 4 units of 200 megawatts each, it represents.
And we have 4 reactors. So we're talking about 4,800.
Yes, 4,800, 4.8 gigawatts. And this represents double the electrical generation from the Aswan High Dam.
Yep.
So it is a great achievement, but the Egyptian Russian cooperation was starting from building the industrial capacity of many aspects, and iron and steel and aluminum and Kima. So it is a very long history, and Russia was Egyptian was a successful cooperation all the time.
Yeah. Dr. Islam, the nuclear power was actually dominated by the superpowers before. We talk about Russia, we talk about the United States of America, we talk about France, we talk about China. Now Egypt is really joining the club with the superpowers of the new era of the nuclear power plants of Al-Daba. What your assist of this?
I would like to say that I am really happy to witness this occasion, that we are now at a new era of the technology transfer from Russia to Egypt in this particular field. It's a very sophisticated type of cooperation, and it needs a lot of complicated equipment and facilities. And the main thing that if you compare the electrical power with other sources, it has distinct advantage. Actually, because in terms of cost, because cost is very important to have to build something which
comparing to gas, it's really saving costs and reducing the costs. Yes.
Yes, that's true.
Also with the carbon emissions.
Yes,
as well.
it is. Initially, that initial cost of the capital cost is higher because you are using a very high standard of safety and security. So it is you are building something which is more costly in the beginning, but you don't forget that you have the facility lasting for 60 to 80 years.
Wow.
Compared to petroleum oil or natural gas, and the maximum of 20 to 30 years. So the difference in the scale. And when you compare this averaged over the lifetime of the reactor, you will get more economic on this. But you have a certain advantage that you also have a base load, which is environmental friendly power source. And compared to other sources, you have carbon free, almost carbon free, to have this base load compared to solar, for example, because solar is not shining all the time, so you have to consider what's the capacity factor. The capacity factor of the nuclear, it's over 95% compared to, for example, the solar is very low, and wind in something in between, but you have to consider storage of these. It cannot be sustainable like
nuclear.
And the nuclear power also has the advantage of producing through this electricity a source of green hydrogen. That is very important.
Great, yeah. You mentioned, as you mentioned, Dr. Islam, we're talking and regarding the contract signed with Atom, with the Rose Atom, the Russian company, which is establishing the power plant of Daba. And according to the agreement, they are supposed not only to build the planet, but also to supply the fuel life of the within the life cycle of the planet, also to maintain and to provide maintenance, to provide training for the expertise, engineers, technicians, etc., transferring the know-how. So great privileges. But actually, I would like to ask you about the safety measurements and the high standard of safety measurements, building and establishing the power plant of Al-Daba, as it's supposed to actually obtain and to bear the pressure of a tsunami or pressure of a plane, a crashing plane, etc. Would you please talk to us about this more?
Yes. You consider something which is very important, which is the site selection mechanism. Site selection is not that straightforward. It takes long time until you reach a suitable site which is safe from the nuclear point of view, because it is safe because of that you build the reactor for a certain site. The reactor which is designed for Russia should be considered to that it will be built in Egypt. So many safety measures are considered concerning the design of the reactor, but they consider that the sighting is the first step in the defense of depth, in defense in depth precaution, because selecting a good site, it will reduce the price very much, and it will be important to distribute the sites, not to have everything in one place, but to distribute it in another sites, because it will affect the network stability. So it is important to consider this, and each step will have to be either to have a permission or a license, and the authority which is responsible for this is the Nuclear and Regulatory Safety Authority.
Yeah.
Nuclear and
of course, and this is great to hear this, and to of course, and to spread this such message to all our viewers, of course, concerning the high level of standards of safety and the power plant of Al Daba, of course.
That's true.
Talking about the multiple economic added value of the planet, we talk about not only the diversity of the energy and the electricity, self-sufficiency, etc. Now we talk about job opportunities, in which we are talking about like 20,000 or 30,000 people are working over there in this side of construction.
Yes, yes.
Engineers, between engineers, technicians, workers. Talking also about the School of Daba, the high-tech School of Daba, which is actually graduating a new generation of expertise in the field of nuclear power. So it's also new era, a new generation of expertise.
Yes.
What's your take on this?
It is a very important aspect that you will transfer the technology through efficient engineers and or technicians, and by technicians I say that you need the technicians at various levels, very high level, and the level which you are using it and actually as operators. So it is very important to have the local environment happy about this, because they would like to benefit directly from these job opportunities. And actually they consider after the participation, increased participation in the project of the Egyptian parties, that they can export some of these highly technical people with the Russian authority, the Russian Sofratom, to build that in another places using the Russian technology.
Great.
It is cheaper for them.
Yep.
So it is good to have this and to export our technology, and we have it after some time. You will the localization of knowledge of technology is important and will be done gradually.
Of course, this is actually a great input and a great added value, of course, of such planet. Okay, Dr. Islam, when we talk about the self-sufficiency of electricity through the Daba power plant, nuclear power plant, and not only we are not seeking only the self-sufficiency, but also support to export energy. And this enables Egypt to reach its goal, or to hit its goal of actually being the energy hub, or the regional energy hub.
Yes. This is a very important aspect, that you are trying to coordinate the source of energy and to complement each other's, because actually burning very valuable fossil energy sources like petroleum oil or gas, or even at time coal at some other places, is very non-efficient, because you have to use this for generating petrochemicals and generating, for example, green hydrogen, but it will not be really green. It will be some gray hydrogen, because we are using something which is polluting, the potential pollutant of environment. But using actually nuclear will be a clean source of generating, for example, hydrogen for export this for fueling the ships. And actually we have been it has been talking that site for East Port Said to be a hub of regional hub for clean energy, but not only energy, but to produce energy from hydrogen, having ammonia as a fertilizer.
It's very important,
and it's very important to export this and to be actually a hub for electricity and a hub for producing fuel, and Egypt has a very excellent location, because it has a very intensity of solar energy, and intensity of wind is very important to cover.
Of course, such a historic event, such a historic day, great achievements added to Egypt, and in particular in 2025. And also, of course, entering or penetrating the era of the nuclear power energy, being the regional hub for the green and clean energy. It's also a great value for the mega project. Dr. Ali Musa, former chairman of the Egyptian Automatic Energy Authority, AAEA, many thanks for being with us and for your insights.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, by this we come to the end of our special edition. Many thanks for watching, and from myself, Hanan El Khoury.